What up, Dokkaners? Welcome back to Toonrami for another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. Finally, guys, finally, Janemba gets his EZA on the global side of Dokkan. Finally. This has been long overdue. People were expecting this far sooner, but finally, we got it. Let's jump into what we can learn about this guy. Janemba, he is an extreme unit. He is weak against the fusion category for his EZA. So make sure you have one of those leaders. We'll get into the leader stuff in a little bit. But fusion is the way to go, which makes sense because of the movie. He's weak against super physical units more precisely. He gains a resistance against all the other versions that you could possibly use. AGL, Tech, Int, and all extreme units. Take note though, I did not mention strength, so keep that in mind. He was born out of pollution. Spiritual waste that had been collecting in some device in the other world apparently exploded, and that is what caused the kid to be mutated into Janemba. So he probably does not smell really good, so you're going to want to stay away from him when you're fighting him, which doesn't make sense. But still, it's worth telling you. Bring some sort of hazmat suit, some sort of Axe body spray, I don't know, because he probably smells bad. Oh, and he likes to teleport, using that little Lego-style teleportation technique. Pretty colorful, but kind of freaky. What do you get for beating the EZA Janemba event? You get 11 Grand Kais, all int. You get 30 Dragon Stones, pretty sweet. You get 5,200 small, 4,000 medium, and 360 large orbs, all int, obviously, which is a free rainbow, and then some. And also you get the Janemba medals to get him to level 140. You're going to want to do this because he is worth it. You're going to want to use those Kais because he's worth it, and those orbs because he's worth it. And here's why. His regular stats are pretty mediocre. Leader skill, int type, attack plus 80%. That's it. Supreme damage to the enemy and greatly lowers defense. Attack and defense plus 5,000. Man, that is terrible. Guard activated against all attacks. That's the only redeeming quality of this base unit. But otherwise, it's terrible. But when he EZAs, he becomes an int type leader. Int type, key plus 3, HP attack and defense plus 90%. His super attack now causes immense damage to the enemy and greatly lowers defense. Huge improvement. His passive though, this is where he really shines. Attack and defense plus 70%. Guard activated against all attacks. Medium chance of evading enemy attacks, including super, for 1 turn, and plus an additional 40% attack for 4 turns when guard is activated. But guard is activated against all attacks, so he's getting the 40% additional already. And he can dodge basically everything. So he is a beast, EZA. Unfortunately, the thunder has kind of been taken from this guy because a couple other pretty awesome EZAs have happened in the past. So he is not the clear-cut #1 EZA unit anymore, but he's still up there, and he's still worth having. So if you can get him, go ahead and get him. If you can awaken him, go ahead and awaken him because he's worth it. So now let's go over the category leads that you can use to go up against him in the EZA event, the 30 battle fight. Since he's weak to fusion, obviously the best course of action is to use a fusion type leader. The best one out of those would be the LR Gogeta, Goku and Vegeta. He's a key plus 3 and 170. He's got a couple 130s in there, but to simplify everything, I broke it down in this format so that you can see roughly what each one is about and some of your options. These are not all the options available. There are other ones out there, so keep that in mind, but these are just some of the best and most notable ones that came to mind when I was making this list for you. LR Gogeta, physical. The AGL Super Gogeta, the one that turns blue, obviously he is a little less effective because Janemba gains a resistance to AGL, but his category lead stat boost is what's necessary here. He's also a dodger, which will be useful, so if you can't use anyone else, use that Super Gogeta, the AGL one. Also, earlier when I was talking about what he gains resistance to, he does not gain resistance to the strength type. Now, strength doesn't do extra damage because it's not a type advantage, but it doesn't do less damage, meaning he does normal damage, which means the strength Gogeta EZA unit is a very, very good candidate to be a leader and also a unit on your team. When he EZAs, he gains a key plus 3 and attack, defense, and HP of 77%, so he's basically like a Super Battle Road Gohan. So if you can't use anybody else, use that strength Gogeta EZA. And last but not least, on the Fusions team, if you don't have any of the other ones that I mentioned, use the Strength Super Saiyan, the Tech Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta leader. he still gives fantastic bonuses to the other fusion categories on your team. He can also dodge. He has a very high chance of dodging certain attacks. So if you are really unlucky and you get supered, maybe, just maybe, you can get out of it alive thanks to Gogeta's abilities. So you have a chance. He's not someone you want to use, but if you have no other choice, you got to go with him. Now for some of the other options, you've got the physical Super Saiyan 3 gotenks. He is obviously fantastic. He is both a fusion category as well as a super physical unit, so he is basically the epitome of what you need. He's also versatile in his attack moves. You don't have to get him to 12 key. You can use him at 9 key or 10 key or 11. He's also a type leader for the physical type, so key plus 3, 120 all around. You've got the LR Super Battle Road Gohan, key plus 3, 77% across the board. He's physical. The free-to-play 1000-day Goku, plus 3, 100. You've got the MVP 17, who is a physical type leader as well, key plus 3 and 90 across the board. And if you can't find any of these, but you have a Super Saiyan Trunks, the EZA one, he is also usable because he has a great passive, which gives extra key, on top of the fact that his leader skill is a key plus 3 and 77% across the board. So now let's jump into the fight itself. As you can see here, I've got a dual LR Gogeta category lead. So I've got massive, massive stat bonuses. I've got 2 Rainbow Physical Fusion units, so those will be doing most of the work. I've also got the STR EZA Super Gogeta, which will do crazy damage. Since I didn't have any other unit that was physical and fusion, I had to throw that STR unit in there, as well as the Super Gogeta that transforms into blue. The blue will never come into effect because the battle's not going to go that long, but he's still a worthwhile unit because he can dodge, and he does pretty decent damage. And last but not least, I've got Weirus. He doesn't have any stats or any orbs in him, but he is a super unit, he is a fusion unit, he's a physical unit, and he changes orbs, which will be great for my other guys if I'm short on key. So, with that said, let's get started. We'll do 1 or 2 fights at most. This one really is not that difficult, as I said, compared to the other ones. So for most of my fights, I found that the key was not a problem at all, because Weirus actually did most of the work for me. He would just transform the orbs that I would need, and then he would sit on the 3rd spot, and the rest of the fireworks would happen on the first 2 turns, and boom, it was over. So if you happen to have that Weirus, you might want to consider throwing him in there, because he really does change the game for you. This is not a Janemba that dodges. He is just a normal unit, so you don't have to worry about that mechanic. Which is funny, when you're fighting Janemba, you always expect him to dodge. I would say out of everyone that I have, I'm probably most thankful that I have the Super Saiyan 3 gotenks. His 11 key super is so destructive that I think it rivals the LR Gogeta on my team particularly. So as you can see there, the damage from the AGL Super Gogeta was pretty minimal, but look at the amount of damage that he took. It wasn't very much. And there you go, Weirus with the massive orb change. I think he changes more than one actually. Let me take a look. Yeah, he changes tech and int key spheres to physical. So if you've got him and you've got no potential in him, or no dupes or anything, it doesn't matter. He's still going to get the job done. So this will likely, well, not likely, this is definitely going to be it. So Gogeta will finish him off right here. I have yet to see any transformations take place. You probably won't either. If it has to go that far, you're probably either dead or he's dead. So there you go, 5 million damage. And that is that. Pretty easy. By the way, the update that just hit Dokkan was a pretty long one, and it took longer than expected. They even delayed it a little bit, but I gotta say, out of any update or server maintenance that they've done, I am most satisfied with this one. They really, really leaned in on the word optimization. They optimized this game like crazy. They actually made it a lot more efficient. Things run faster, the loading time is slower, and the overall quality of life, the tiny little things that you just don't really think about, they've been changed. When I'm scrolling through my inventory or I'm scrolling through my units, one swipe of my thumb actually makes the units scroll down in the speed that I would expect. Before, I would have to work a little more and scroll double time to reach the unit that I would want to reach. Now it takes less swipes to actually reach it, meaning the sensitivity or the tracking has been enhanced on the touch screen interface, whatever you want to call it. So this was a really, really good update. Not to mention, according to some data miners on Twitter, they also have been including some assets for future units that are going to be coming onto Global, like the future transforming Trunks and Zamasu. So yeah, this was a overall really, really, really good update. Alright, so here, since there are no key links, it really doesn't matter. I've got all these orbs to use. This fight is over. Weirus is the MVP. When I pulled him, I think I pulled him in a random... I think I actually got him in the Super Saiyan 4 dual banners, and I did not care, because I wasn't about to put any orbs or any sort of effort into that Weirus. He seemed useless to me, and he still kind of is. He doesn't really do much other than orb changing, but for this particular EZA, I gotta say, this is the best possible ally you could have on your team. So that'll about do it for this video, guys. I hope you found this useful. Let me know in the comments if there are any units that you are using as a leader that I did not mention. Let me know down there. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and also subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future. Thank you so much once again, stay tuned, and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.